Hi crafters, welcome back to another segment of KISS, Keep It Simple Sylvia. Today is the second week in April and we're working with twine. Today we're going to be working with our cotton twine because we're going to make a tassel. There's lots of different ways that you can make tassels. You can measure the length and do exact, but since I like to keep things simple, I use my hands. If you're going to make a fairly large tassel and long, I found that 4 fingers works pretty good. And you just keep wrapping your twine around your hand. If you use all 4 fingers, about 30 times makes a nice tassel. When you start wrapping, make sure that this end that you begin with hangs below where you're folding back over on the wrap. The reason is we're going to gather at the top and we're going to cut at the bottom. And you do not want to have a loose end sticking up somewhere in the middle. So you want to make sure that it hangs below where you're wrapping. If 4 fingers is too large for you, then shrink it down to 3. And each time that you make it smaller, you will be adjusting how many times you're going to be wrapping it. Obviously, the smaller it gets, the less wraps you have to have. If 3 is still too big for you, drop it down to 2. Just remember to keep this edge down below your bottom wrap. If you wrap with 2, you're not going to need very many full completions of wraps around your fingers. Right now I've got 4. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 is pretty thick, so I'm going to stop here. If you want it thicker, you can wrap more. If you want it thinner, you can obviously not wrap it as much. And then just cut it off. And I'm going to pause this because I'm going to be working with some baker's twine that I made. I made some blue baker's twine and I wrapped it around my fingers 15 times. Now what we're going to do is you're going to take your fingers out, hold it at the top, make sure you've got your loose ends hanging down, and you're going to tie it off with some additional baker's twine. And just make sure that you tie it nice and tight. One way I like to make a nice real tight knot is to, you know how when you wrap your knot around and you pull it, bring it through again. Do it 2 times. This makes a nice secure knot. And just gather it real tight. Just pull it as tight as you can. And then tie it again. Okay, so now we've got that folded. Now what we want to do is we want to add the piece that's going to be the hanging part of the tassel, the thing that you want to hang. And what I like to do is I like to have it braided. Now you could, if you want to, just run another piece of baker's twine through it and tie it off. And then you'd have the hanger for your tassel. I like to give it a little dimension. So what I do is, it's not really a braid, it's just a loop. I just loop my string around my fingers and I make like a twisty like this, you know. Put your string through here and pull it down through here. Twist your fingers and grab a hold of the one that you're hanging on to and pull it through. And then kind of pull it tight. And just continue to braid in this manner. I like this because it gives a nice little texture and tone to the string that I'm going to be hanging on. And you just keep doing this. This is kind of like what the kids are making today. The look of it is, you know, out of those tiny little rubber bands. They're making those cute little bracelets. This is basically the same concept. And you just keep pulling it through till you get it to the length that you want. I'm going to pause it here while I continue to do this. Okay, back again. Now I've made my chain the length that I want it. And you know what? This is another little thing that you could use on a project. I mean, this is really, really cute. Instead of using baker's twine by itself or using a ribbon or something, you could just chain up some twine and add that to a project too. You know, the way that you finish this off after you've made your loops and pulled them through is you just take your loose end and just pull the whole thing through this last loop and pull it tight, and that secures it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather the two ends, and then I'm going to tie the single strands together when I get it through my little tassel here. I'm going to put it through there, and then I'm just going to tie these ends together. Using that double wrap knot. Okay, so I've got that secure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all of these loose ends are on the inside underneath my tassel here. I don't want any ends sticking out when I start wrapping this. Okay, I've got the chain on the inside of the tassel, and I've got all of my loose ends down inside also. And now we're going to start wrapping the little, completing the wrap on the tassel. What you want to do is you want to get some more baker's twine, put the edge up, make yourself a little loop in the bottom here, have a loop down here, and start wrapping real tight at the top, leaving this edge, this end of the string open. Don't put that inside. And just start wrapping real secure. Now you can be real neat with your wrapping, where you line up the string and it looks real smooth, or you can just wrap it around any way that you want to. It doesn't matter. It's your tassel. Make it the way you want it to look. And wrap it as many times as you want, but you want to give yourself a little distance. And then when you're ready to tie it off, what you need to do is put the end of your string through that loop that you made. That loop that you made with the baker's twine in the beginning there. I have to just find it. Okay, here it is. I'm going to put my end, my loose end through here. Okay, hold it down tight. And I'm going to start pulling on this. Now what that's going to do is it's going to pull my end inside, and you have to kind of give it a nice tug there. It's going to pull it inside, and now it's secure inside that wrapping there, and it's not going to come undone. And then you can clip your string at both ends now. Now, you've got the loops from when we did our winding, and you want to cut through them. We'll just start cutting through your little loops, and you're going to see that you've got a very uneven tassel. So all you have to do to even that out is just trim them the same length. There you go. You got a mighty cute little tassel to use on any project that you're working on. Color coordinated, because I made myself some baker's twine. We did a chain stitch for the top. You didn't have to. You could have just used twine by itself, but I think it adds a nice little appeal to it. And there's our tassel. All nice and secure, securely wrapped, ready to go. I also have some others that I made out of the other types of twine that we talked about. This one's made out of the hemp, and you can see it's a lot thicker, stiffer, and it's a thinner twine. So I had to wrap a few more times on it. This is actually I made with 3 fingers. You can see there's a a difference in the length of it. And this would be really cute at Christmas time for an ornament to make for an angel, and just put some little wings on it. This would be adorable for that. I added some of the baker's twine that I had colored because I like the contrast. This would have been cute in a red one also. You don't have to. You could have, just put the regular hemp twine on it. But I do like the contrast there. I think it's really kind of cute. And then I also made one out of the regular jute twine. You can see that this is much thicker. This is also 3 fingers. I did this with 3 fingers also. There's quite a bit of difference between the length of this, just because of the thickness of the strand itself makes a big difference. And I didn't have to use as many wrappings because it is so much thicker. You can see this has a much more rustic look to it too. So there you go. We have all 3 of them. I hope you enjoyed this segment of Kiss, Keep It Simple Sylvia, and I hope that you will join me again next week when we do another little goodie out of twine. Thanks, crafters. See you then. Bye.